Good evening. Tonight we are going to discuss the Autumnal Equinox and its place in the Wheel of the Year. Often called Mabon or the Fall Equinox, the Autumnal Equinox falls in the second half of September, usually right around September 21st. It is often marked on calendars as the first day of fall. It is a time when day and night are equal, the last day in the season where the hours of darkness do not overwhelm the hours of light. This is the height of the harvest, the culmination of what began at Lunasa. It is a time to think about what we have and to be grateful for it. The autumnal equinox is often seen as the pagan equivalent of Thanksgiving. As a part of the Wheel of the Year, the autumnal equinox sees the goddess's pregnancy advancing. She is still the mother, but she grows wiser and is the crone as well. The god becomes the sorcerer and is poised to leave his physical body. It is not his end, but his beginning. The goddess mourns him, but she knows that she carries his child within her. He will never be truly gone, but will reappear as the Wheel of the Year continues to turn. As this sabbat is a time of preparation for the resting period that follows so on, it is a good time to rid yourself of anything unnecessary and unwanted, a time to lie to rest the quarrels and arguments that have plagued you during the season. Get rid of your guilt, envy, and unwanted feelings. Banish those things that are holding you back, keeping you from your true potential. This is the time of year to put your own life back into balance, just as the year is in balance as day and night are equal. This is a season of balance, healing, and justice. It is common to celebrate these themes with festivals and celebrations. It is a time of self-expression, of reclaiming the self before the cold of winter arrives. There are many symbols of the autumnal equinox, including the cornucopia, dried leaves, gourds, grains, turkeys, and of course, wheels. Lunasa and the autumnal equinox are very similar, both being harvest festivals, but the equinox is truly a time of plenty. The foods of Lunasa are still available, as are many others that have finally come into season. Fish, oysters, game birds, and various meats are quite traditional. Vegetables such as turnips, zucchini, and cauliflower are also easily available at this time of year. If you have wild foods in your area, this is the time to collect them. If you're looking for a truly traditional feast, serve goose. This goose should be smaller and less fatty than a goose served at Yule, as a goose harvested at this time of year will be smaller. Try serving the goose with cranberries, raspberries, or even rowan for an interesting alternative. Roast your small goose on a rack in your oven with a variety of herbs and spices for flavor. There are many other foods you might try, including fish or shellfish cooked in tinfoil with seasonal herbs, fresh vegetables just barely cooked so that they are still crisp, boiled potatoes, turkey, duck, fruit cobbler, and any fruit preserves you may have made or purchased. Fruit wines are a popular choice for the autumnal equinox, but they do take a few weeks to mature. If you're making your own fruit wine, start it no later than Lunasa to enjoy it by late September. For a quicker alternative, just mash some fruit and strain it. Add the juice to a chilled sweet wine just before serving. For the non-alcoholic crowd, try chilled fruit juices mixed with sparkling water. If you prefer liqueurs, make a fruit liqueur by adding vodka and fine castor sugar to some chilled fruit juice. Shake this mixture 3 times a day for 7 or 8 days and serve it chilled. Substitute sparkling water for the vodka if your celebration includes children or those who prefer not to drink alcohol in the first place. Harvest mead, both in its alcoholic and non-alcoholic forms, is also an appropriate choice for this time of year. When thinking about September, we tend to associate it with the beginning of fall, but it's important to remember that this month is also the end of summer. The weather is still usually warm enough to host a celebration outdoors, even if you do have to put a sweater on before you head out. It's always fun to go out and look for edible plants, nuts, and berries in your area, but remember a few of those may be poisonous, and they likely look like their edible counterparts. Take a field guide with you and don't eat anything you're unsure of. When in doubt, find an expert in that field in your area. They do exist. Find someone who knows what they're talking about, knows what to harvest, and knows what won't hurt you. If you're involving children in hunting for wild food, make sure you don't let them eat anything until you've checked it out. A safer alternative is to find a berry picking farm nearby that you can visit. This takes most of the risk out of your little hunt as you're picking berries that were seeded and grown specifically for human consumption. Conker fighting is a traditional way to pass the time in the fall. Take a horse chestnut and skewer it, then suspend it from a knotted string at least 3 feet long, maybe even a little longer. Face off with an opponent and try to smash each other's conkers. The person whose conker breaks first is the loser. This game invites a great deal of hilarity, but you also might end up with scraped knuckles and squashed fingers from flying conkers. You might want to wear some heavy gloves to protect your hands from those flying nuts. Remember that you're about to say goodbye to the warm days of the lighter half of the year. Hold a spiral dance, having all participants dance clockwise in honor of the dark half of the year that is about to begin. Keep in mind that dances take practice, so you might want to have your dancers rehearse once or twice before the actual day. A ritual is always nice, but remember it is not strictly necessary. You can celebrate the day without a ritual if that's what you choose to do. If you do decide on a ritual, keep in mind that you should focus on the themes of the day and not on performing magic for yourself. For the Autumnal Equinox, traditional colors include the rich colors of fall, including yellow, orange, red, and even brown. The colors of fall leaves are the colors of the Autumnal Equinox. You could wear ritual robes in these colors or choose something more meaningful to you. Alternatively, you might want to dress in the god's color of bright gold or the goddess's colors of deep autumn reds. You might also choose to use these colors to decorate your ritual space. The Autumnal Equinox is a time of balance. It is a time to reflect on the abundance that nature provides and offer up thanks for what we already have. Thank you for joining us this week. Blessed be.